Welcome to Bite-Sized L&D, your quick, no-nonsense update on the latest in workplace learning. Today, we're uncovering the secrets to mastering executive presence and sharing actionable tips to enhance your communication skills. All right, let's get straight into it.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bite-Sized L&D. I'm Donna, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Yakov to break down the topics that matter most for your professional development. Today, we're diving into something I get asked about constantly.
Hey everyone, Yakov here. And Donna, you're absolutely right. This one comes up all the time. We're talking about executive presence today. You know, that somewhat mysterious quality that some people seem to have naturally while others struggle to pin down exactly what it is.
Oh, the mystery factor is so real. It's like trying to define charisma or good taste. You know it when you see it, but explaining it? That's where things get tricky.
Exactly, and here's what I find fascinating. Executive presence isn't actually some magical trait you're born with. It's a learnable skill, especially when it comes to communicating with people way above you in the org chart. Think about it. In larger companies, the executives you need to influence might have zero visibility into your day-to-day work.
Right. And that's where so many people stumble. They think they need to prove how smart they are by diving deep into every technical detail. But here's the thing. Have you ever been in a meeting where someone just won't get to the point?
Oh, constantly. It's like watching someone over-explain a movie plot when all you want to know is whether it's worth watching. The key insight here is that people with strong executive presence focus on landing their message, not proving their expertise.
Lay it on me. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, think about it this way. If you're explaining the same technical project to your peer, your manager, and a C-suite executive, and you're using the exact same words and level of detail for all three, you're missing the mark completely.
That makes total sense. The executive cares about different things than your peer does. Which brings me to something I see all the time. People get so buried in the weeds that they forget to connect their work to the bigger picture.
Yes, this is what I call up-leveling the conversation. Executives live in the strategic layer. They're thinking about company goals, market pressures, competitive advantages. When you want to influence them, you need to show how your work ties into those bigger themes.
I'm thinking about someone I worked with who was incredibly skilled, but struggled with this exact thing. She was deep in the technical details and spoke in pure jargon. Even though she was a natural leader, it was hard to position her as an ambassador for our team's work because people outside our department couldn't follow what she was saying.
And I bet with some coaching, she transformed her communication style.
Absolutely. Once she learned to translate the technical work into business impact, her influence expanded dramatically. But here's where it gets even more complex. Understanding what's not being said in the room.
The subtext. This is huge. Every meeting has multiple layers. What's actually said, what people hear, and all the organizational history floating around. There could be past conflicts, political trades, relationship dynamics that completely change how your message lands.
Right. And this is especially challenging for people who are new to an organization. They don't know the backstory. I remember talking to someone who was well-respected but kept hitting walls. It was like he was speaking English in America but missing all the cultural nuances that were throwing off his communication.
That's such a perfect analogy. And it highlights why having a mentor or champion who can help you navigate those dynamics is so valuable. But let's talk about something that trips up even seasoned professionals. Assuming others have the same context you do.
Oh, this one hits close to home. Picture this. You're leading a large team. Someone brings up an issue you've never heard of. And your best response is, "I'll look into it." The employee probably walks away thinking you don't care, but really, you had no clue what they were talking about.
Exactly. And I've been on both sides of this. I've rambled to a senior leader about something that consumed 110% of my time, completely missing that they had zero context for what I was discussing. Just because something is your entire world doesn't mean it's on their radar at all.
Which is why providing context up front is so crucial. But here's another pattern I see constantly. People bringing problems without solutions.
Talk about a missed opportunity. Early in careers, it's natural to go to your manager when you hit a roadblock. But as you develop executive presence, you shift from, here's my problem, please fix it, to, here's the challenge I'm facing, here are 3 potential solutions I'm considering, and here's my recommendation.
Makes such a difference. It positions you as someone who's there to drive impact, not just escalate issues. But to really nail executive presence, you need to understand what keeps these leaders up at night.
This is so important. Everyone filters conversations through the lens of their biggest concerns. For a senior executive, that might be a major strategic pivot, financial pressures, market conditions, or hitting quarterly targets. When you can connect your work to their primary concerns, you close that distance between your level and theirs.
And it shows strategic thinking. You're not just executing tasks, you're understanding how your work fits into the bigger machine. But executive presence isn't just about the professional stuff, right? There's a human element too.
Absolutely, I love this example. A founder reached out to me completely out of the blue, but mentioned he was a fellow Duke alum. Instantly, we were chatting about Durham, campus memories, shared experiences. That connection made the entire conversation feel more natural and open.
The power of finding common ground. Whether it's shared connections, similar backgrounds, or mutual interests. These threads make interactions feel less formal and more collaborative. People extend more courtesy to those they feel connected to. That's just human nature.
Right? And this all builds toward what might be the most important aspect of executive presence, driving conversations toward clarity and decisions.
Yes! Before any important conversation, you should be crystal clear about what outcome you're hoping to achieve. Too many discussions just go in circles because nobody's steering toward a specific destination.
I think about it like this. By the time you're in that room with senior leaders, you should have done your homework. You should understand where people's heads are, what their concerns might be, and what information they need to move forward. It's about making their decision-making process easier, not harder.
So when we step back and look at all of this together, the message focus, the strategic connection, understanding subtext, providing context, bringing solutions, knowing their priorities, building rapport, and driving toward decisions. What's the thread that ties it all together?
I think it comes down to this. Executive presence is about inspiring confidence and trust through how you communicate and carry yourself. It's not about having all the answers or dominating every room. It's about making others feel like you're someone they can count on to get things done effectively.
And the best part? None of this requires you to completely change who you are. These are skills you can practice and develop over time. Every conversation is an opportunity to work on one of these elements.
Exactly. Start small. Maybe in your next meeting, focus on connecting your update to a bigger company goal. Or when you bring up a challenge, come prepared with potential solutions. Pick one area and practice it consistently.
Such practical advice. And remember, executive presence gets built in those simple everyday moments. How you listen, how you shape your message, how you align with what matters to others, and how you move conversations toward action.
Perfect summary, Donna. So for everyone listening, think about which of these 8 areas might be your biggest opportunity for growth. Where could you start practicing this week?
Great question to leave our listeners with. Thanks for diving deep with us on executive presence today, everyone. This stuff really can transform how you show up at work and the impact you're able to make.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing. We'll catch you on the next episode of Bite-Sized L&D.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
And that's a wrap for today's podcast, where we explored how executive presence is a learnable skill by tailoring communication, connecting work to company goals, and building rapport for effective decision-making. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues so they can also stay updated on the latest news and gain powerful insights. Stay tuned for more updates.